Okay, we have really big news to talk about. There was an announcement in Young Animal magazine that they are going to resume the serialization of Berserk. So, Berserk basically ended when with the passing of Kentaro Miura, which is a terrible, terrible event. And yeah, it's people were wondering, are they going to continue the story of Berserk? Will they go back to it? Will they leave it as an unfinished project? It is now official. They are going to continue it. It's going to be drawn by the studio that of the assistants that were helping Kentaro Miura draw in the first place. They are also working closely with Koji Mori, who's a manga artist, probably most known for Suicide Island, Holy Land. He's done other works as well. He was best friends with Kentaro Miura, knew him since middle school. And Koji Mori put out a statement saying that he spoke with Miura, and Miura actually told him the entire story of Berserk, so he knows what Miura was planning for the ending. And yeah, there's a statement that's put out by the Young Animal editorial talking about like whether they decided like would we continue doing this, would we not do this. But they had a long discussion with the staff, the editorial, with Koji Mori. They all decided to continue with this. And they make it very clear that they are, especially Koji Mori, is saying, I will recall the details as much as possible that was told to me, but I will only write the episodes that Miura talked about. We're not going to expand upon that at all. And of course, it will still not be perfect at all, because Berserk can only be created by Kentaro Miura fully. But with the talents of his apprentices, and you may not be satisfied that this is Berserk that's not fully done by Miura, we hope that you will support us. And that's the basic message here. Dar, I am very torn up about this. Like, I'm not entirely sure how to process this.
I am happy about it. I guess
I'm glad you're happy about it.
Yeah, I guess that's the difference between me, who I've only read a little bit of Berserk. I plan on reading all of it eventually. Mm-hmm. I do own the first 3 of those big, like, leather-bound Dark Horse releases. Yes. I don't know if you've seen them. They're really big.
They're nice really releases. Nice. They're very, very nice.
I own the first 3, and I was planning on getting, like, the rest, so I was going to start reading them when I had, like, most of them, so I don't, like... So at least I have a little bit of buffer before I kind of, like, you burn through them and not have new material. But, like, honestly, the only part that makes me a little bummed, and it's going to be controversial, is the part where the guy, sorry, what's his name? Koji
Mori, yeah.
Yeah, Koji Mori. Like, the part where Koji Mori is talking about, like, oh, I won't write chapters that I don't remember clearly. I'll only write what he tell me. Kentaro Miura, he passed away. If you're going to continue the series, you should just fully embrace that this is a new thing. And we will never get, and they admit that we will never get the original, actual, like, the actual unique Berserk. This is something different. It's kind of aberrant. And I kind of wish they would have just embraced that and owned it. And still follow kind of like what Kentaro Miura's outline would have been. But not be so afraid to put themselves into it. You know what I mean? Because the reason I was happy about it was because I felt like Berserk was as much the team. It belonged to the team as much as it belonged to Kentaro Miura, right? I understand that it's his story, and I understand that like so much of his like blood, sweat, and tears was put in the art in the book. But he had multiple people working with him for decades. Like that has to count for something. Like they deserve this glory as well. That's my opinion. I know it gets tricky, especially with mangaka, because mangaka are so intertwined with their creation. It's not like a Western comic creator where they work on a comic for a few years and they might have a great run, and then they're off it, and here comes the next person. Like if a mangaka is not involved with the manga almost ultimately means that it's just done, right? It's just completely different culture and texture of creation and just simply what the audience wants out of the manga. The manga audience, they expect the mangaka's like voice behind it, which is why like whenever there's stories or scandals about ghostwriting and stuff like that, it's always so scandalous.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. It's just as someone who is like a huge fan of Kentaro Miura, who's someone who loved like Berserk, and knows how like important it was and how influential it was and how good it was. Like everything that they've done, like to make this announcement saying that they're going to continue it, they can't say that they're going to do their own thing, Dar, because they'll get so much backlash. It will be awful. They're already going to get backlash for doing this anyway, but...
And I think it's a little sad. I understand why it is the way it is, but I think that's a little sad. I think it's a little bit of trying to have your cake and eat it too. I feel like if they're so afraid of that kind of backlash, then maybe they shouldn't do this at all. And do what Kojimura was kind of like theorizing. He was theorizing that maybe like they would release illustrations and like an outline of what Kitamura wanted. Mm-hmm. But then he said like that wouldn't do it justice. I don't know. I obviously I'll reserve my judgment for the final product. I'm not trying to belittle any fans that feel very strongly about the passing of Kentaro Miura. Obviously, like if you're a fan about it, you can feel however way you want about it. But like I feel like the man passed away. His work is eternal, and that's all that you should be concerned with. That's just the way I feel about it. If somebody wants to like keep making Berserk stuff, you're welcome to read it or not. Yeah. I'm very much of that. Like that's just my camp. Again, I'm not trying to push it up upon anybody.
I totally get it. It's very hard though. Like I can totally see fans like looking at this and being like, "You're totally like disrupting his like memory, his like legacy in a lot of ways." And then of course I'm sure there are other more casual people who are like, "I just want to read the end of Berserk," so they're probably psyched. But I mean, if they're going to continue it, this is the best way to do it. The fact that they have all like the artists, the assistants from the studio that did the work, that know the style, that know how to draw, trying to do as best recreation as possible. You have Koji Mori, best friend of Kentaro Miura, who knows like how he's the only person in the world basically who knows the entire story of Berserk and how it was supposed to end. So it's going to be faithful to that. So there's a lot of positive things about the star. It's hard, man. It's just
again, to reiterate, I'm not trying to like act snobby or anything, but I truly just feel like the people who worked at Berserk for more than a decade and Kentaro Miura's best friend, a decorated mangaka in his own right, have more say in this than you. That's kind of just how I feel about it. Like I value their opinion and their feelings more than I value yours, who's just a fan who might have just read it on the internet and scans. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know you. Like, and I don't fucking know fucking Koji Mori either. But I do know his work. His work is fucking dope, and I know he fucking hurting.
Yes,
because it's like his fucking best friend's gone.
He released a really heartfelt manga about the passing of Kentaro Miura. It was very, very good. I didn't even know about their connection until like he released that too. So it's definitely in good hands.
Mangaka are very private people.
Yeah,
it's proven time and time again. We get glimpses of their life. We're like, whoa! It turns out this person does this or is way into this, or it's like turns out these guys, they've known each other since middle school.
I think it will take me a while to be excited about the prospect that this is continuing. At the moment, I'm still kind of processing like everything that's gone into it.
Yeah, and like whenever it comes out and whenever you come around to give it a shot, like it's okay for you to not. It's okay for you not to like it, It's okay for you to read it and be like, okay, I can tangibly feel the absence and the ghost of Kentaro Miura in a bad way. I don't want to read this.
It could be the case, and I feel really bad for this team that's going to continue. Because they're already starting at a loss. Like, this is already a losing battle in so many ways. But they're, they want to do it. They want to make it happen. I think it will really actually appease a lot of people who are fans of Berserk in a lot of ways. So
yeah, and like you could be cynical and say, oh, it's going to appease like the publisher because they could keep selling Berserk, right? And I'm sure that's true to an extent. But like I feel like for the actual creators involved, this is a huge endeavor they're like going into, and part of them might feel a certain obligation to do it, almost like a tribute, to their friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this news just happened very recently, so I'm still in the process of making my own feelings, kind of like processing them. So
At the time of the recording, was this today?
This was basically yesterday, if not today.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. I forget how time works, but if it by the time this gets uploaded, it'll probably be 2 days ago. Most people will probably have their mind set up about it. But on a lighter note, this is a total shot in the dark. But now that Koji Muro's name is attached to Berserk in a way that it never has been.
Are we going to get Suicide Island in English finally?
Maybe the publisher going like, hey, this guy has like years and years of manga, and he's going to be the next Berserk guy. Oh, maybe we could all take, Suicide Island? What is that? Oh, let's put this out. I would be ecstatic.
It's hard because it's always harder to publish older manga if it's not a current serialized series. It's hard to get the hype behind it. Of course, you have exceptions, but I just thought of the book coming out and just cringed really hard when I see the cover of Suicide Island Volume 1 at my local Barnes & Noble, and it says from the creator of Berserk on the cover. Oh,
that would be the worst timeline. That would be the worst time if they lean that far into capitalizing on the Berserk name.
If they're gonna look into Koji Mori after that and be like, oh, creator of Berserk, supervisor for current Berserk. Let's pray they won't. Hopefully people won't stoop to such levels, but you never know.
Yeah, I kind of want to apologize if I got worked up a little bit, if I came out a little bit dismissive towards fans' feelings about it, but that's just how I feel. I think this is a special thing and a good thing for the people, for all the creators involved, or the artists involved.
No, they're very good points. It's hard for me to get to those points because I'm such a fan of Berserk. So my feelings are very twisted right now, but I'm glad you have that perspective, Dar. Thank you. And we'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see when this finally comes out. But I guess the plan right now is they're going to complete the current Fantasia arc / Elf Island chapter. There's 6 chapters to put out. And then after that, it's going to be all new, baby. So credits after that will be original work by Kento Miura, manga by Studio Gaga, which is Kento Miura's studio, and supervised by Koji Mori. And that will be on the manga volumes as well. So
I think it's important to make that very obvious and very direct.
Mm-hmm.
Stamp those books as post Kento Miura.
Yep. We'll see.